Ready?
Yep.
Set, go. Highly recommend getting or renting a GoPro for Disney. So today's video is going to be a bit different than normal, which I guess is kind of our theme of this entire quarantine.
It turns out it's kind of hard to make travel videos when you're stuck in one place, but we've loved having your suggestions for videos and we've tried to make as many of those videos as we can.
So one of the more popular suggestions has been to show our travel vlogging gear. And while our gear isn't the fanciest and we hope to upgrade some items in the future, it has worked really well for us for the last 1.5 years, which we didn't realize we've been vlogging that long.
So today's vlog, we're gonna show you guys a look at all of our products that we use and give you kind of a behind the scenes glimpse of how we use all those products to make our travel videos. So first up, we have our backpack. This backpack is made by a company named Wandered, and this is the Provoke 31 liter model. We love this backpack, super awesome. We highly recommend it. Opens up from the back. When you do that, we've got tons of space here, and we added this camera cube here, and it comes with like a little divider. Has enough room for our cameras, an extra lens, and then there's also this zipper part where we keep our GoPro, a bunch of our chargers and other things, and a hard drive. So in the back flap or hatch, you have room for 2 laptops to go in here. Another awesome, great feature, which is important safety feature, is this slot here. This is where we keep all of our important documents like passports and checkbook, things like that. And then one of the most prominent features of this backpack is this roll top. You have this little hook here that helps cinch it down, so it just, like I said, rolls up. You can fit tons of stuff in this backpack.
The backpack could technically be this tall if you filled it up all the way.
Yeah, you just roll it right here and then I guess go that way. But this thing's awesome because like if you don't need it so big, you can just roll it down and tighten it down, and it can be nice and compact, or you can jam it full of stuff. Over here we have our tripod, and then over here something we've added not too long ago is this Peak Design camera clip. Kathryn can just slide on her camera and it's a quick release, so you just push this button and it slides right out.
I love this because I can hike hands-free. I don't have to have a camera like smacking me in the chest the whole time, so it's really nice. Highly recommend it.
So we can't keep all of our stuff in here, like for instance our drone stuff. It's 2 pieces, so there's the drone and then there's like a bigger box with all the batteries and all that, and we can't quite fit it in here, so we just throw it in my backpack, which is an old Patagonia backpack.
This is our main vlogging camera. It's a Sony a6500, and we've had this little guy the entire time our vlog has been in existence. When we started our vlog, it was really overwhelming to look at all the camera options and figure out what was the right choice for us. But a lot of the vloggers that we were watching were using this camera at the time, so we thought, well, if we like their videos and it's good enough for them, then let's just get it. So we really like this camera because it's a 4K, so it shoots in really high quality. But another reason why we like it is that it's mirrorless. So if you look at my Nikon D750, which is our DSLR camera, compared to this mirrorless guy, I don't know if the GoPro is really capturing the size difference, but this thing is heavy and bulky, and this thing is so much smaller and lighter. So this Nikon D750 has been my go-to camera for many years for photos, and I love the quality of photos it takes. It's a full frame camera, so it's just a really nice camera. This is not full frame. This is like a crop sensor camera, so the quality is not as good as a full frame, but this thing is just so bulky that I've actually started using the Sony more for photos just because it's easier just to carry around this little guy. So eventually we hope to upgrade this camera to one of the mirrorless full frame Sonys that we can use for both vlogging and photos, but we gotta save our pennies first.
So you may have noticed this fuzzy fur ball on the top of our camera. This is a Rode Video Micro, I think it's what it's called. It has a bunch of names, but we love this microphone. We have a microphone because it helps with just picking up the sound, obviously, and it just really covers up the wind really well with this fuzzy stuff. The best part about it though is when we're filming and there's a dog around, it is an ultimate dog magnet. Dogs love this thing. They think it's like a stuffed animal, I guess. Be warned though, make sure this thing, sometimes it can slide out a little bit, and if it's out, it's obviously not gonna work. This happened to us when we were on the Big Island for a clip, and it was really tragic when we went to edit the video at the end of the day and there was no sound on one of our clips. It was a big fail. Bop, bop.
We have two lenses for our Sony a6500. We have a 10 to 18 millimeter lens, which is the lens that's on the camera right now as I'm talking. And we got this lens because we wanted to have a more zoomed out lens for when we're doing all of our selfie talking shots. That way our face isn't too close to the screen. But before we had the 10 to 18 millimeter lens, we had this 18 to 105 millimeter lens. This is the lens we bought when we got the camera. And it's a really great lens, but at 18 millimeters, our like selfie shots tend to be a little bit too close to our face. So if you've seen our first 6 months of vlogs, our faces are definitely a lot closer to the screen than they are now. So now we use this lens mostly for just really cool zoomed in B-roll shots. If we see something from far away, we can kind of sometimes try to get a closer look at it. So we wanted to show you guys kind of how this works. So we're gonna put this lens on the camera now and then zoom in on a few things and show you the difference that this guy makes. So right now I'm filming with the 10 to 18 millimeter lens. This is the 10 millimeters. That's the 18 millimeters. And now we're on the 18 to 105 millimeter lens. So this is 18, this is 25 or 26, this is 30, 50, 105. Adam, you look so good all zoomed in.
Believe it. Our next big piece of our vlogging setup is the Zhiyun crane. This is our gimbal or stabilizer. And this thing keeps all of our shots nice and steady so we can get those smooth, crisp shots. And we also use it for a lot of our talking parts, so it's our selfie stick. So when you first get it, you've got to kind of balance out all these different little knobs and things. You've got to set them in the right spot for the correct weight of the camera. And so we found our nice spot that we balance it at, and we just always leave it there. Most of the time, unless we want really steady shots with the big zoomed in lens, then we just adjust one of the we just adjust this bottom one. We just slide it back a little bit, and because the lens is so much longer. But so for this one,
it's a little wobbly right now.
Yeah, it's wobbly and it'll do whatever because it's off. But you've got to get it to where it's sitting nice and balanced like that, just hands free. If it's leaning too much or this way, it's not gonna. Might work, but it's not. It's gonna work the battery, the motors too much. So, got this button here. Hold the button to turn it on, and it'll come to life. Okay, and so we can move it around like this. Okay, up and down, and if you turn it, it turns with you. It's pretty cool. But then you've got this other mode here where you push that, and it'll stay locked on to whatever you're. So you can like turn the thing, and it'll stay locked on. So that's another different little technique. So one thing that makes it a little difficult is that it's pretty heavy. It was even worse when we had this big lens on there, but I've got a really strong shoulder now. My left shoulder is bigger than my right now because I'm always holding it with my left, but this is what it looks like.
It also sometimes has a mind of its own.
Yeah, if you're like trying to go too much
or like
one way or another way,
yeah.
it'll pop back up, or like if I'm trying to zoom way up, it'll reach the end, and sometimes it'll just like zoom back down.
So we get kind of frustrated with it. So sometimes we just shoot by hand, even though the shots aren't nearly as good as with the gimbal.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna show you guys what our shots would look like with the gimbal and without the gimbal. So we're gonna go for a little jog. And first up, we're gonna use the gimbal. Ready?
Yep.
Set, go.
Okay, now we're gonna do it sans gimbal, and I'm gonna try to hold it as steady as I can. I'm not purposely gonna shake it around, so let's see the difference.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Set, go.
So as you can see from the two clips, the one without the gimbal of us running is definitely a bit more shaky. It's not horrible, but we just like using the gimbal because all of our shots, especially our B-roll, they're just more smooth and not as jerky. We have two different tripods that we use. We have this Joby Gorilla Pod, and then we have this Amazon Basics tripod. So we use this Gorilla Pod. It's really fun because you can bend all the legs and like wrap it around stuff. So we'll use it if we need to, wrap the camera around a tree or something. That's kind of rare, but it just moves more easily, and you can kind of adapt it to whatever situation you're in. So we'll use it for kind of low shots. We'll use it if we can set it up on something and make it taller. We'll also sometimes use it instead of the gimbal and kind of hold it out like this, since it bends and stuff. It's
pretty easy to get the camera on here. You just kind of screw it on. So it's good for really quick situations when we need a tripod. And then this Amazon Basics tripod is your standard kind of regular tripod. We use this more if we want to actually be at eye level to the camera, talking to the camera, if we want higher up shots when we're walking, or just something when this guy's just a little too short. But this thing goes to I think about 60 inches tall. To be honest, we don't really love this tripod. I think it maybe cost us $30. It's really, really cheap, and it's actually our second Amazon Basics tripod. We had, our first one broke a couple months ago, but it had lasted us for a really long time and it was actually pretty solid. But this one just seems like it's way worse quality for some reason. It's just not that great. So Amazon, I'll probably be contacting you later today asking for a refund, but we'd love to get a more expensive tripod. We just keep putting it off, so I think now it's time for us to upgrade. So it's really good for beginners, but if you really want something sturdy, I probably wouldn't recommend it. But besides videos, we also use this thing to get most of the photos of the two of us. So a lot of people have asked in the past, like, how do you guys get photos of the two of you together? And it's something that we've prioritized a lot over the last couple years. And what we do is we just set up this tripod in public and we snap our own photos. So it's kind of awkward setting up your tripod in front of people to get a photo of the two of you together. But we found that we sometimes will ask strangers to take a photo of us, and then like one of us is blurry, or it's like a really weird angle, and then it's extra awkward because you have to wait till they leave and ask someone else to get a different photo of you. So we decided, after all of the struggles of trying to get strangers to take photos of us, we would just use the tripod instead. So sometimes it's really nice when there's no one around, no one to ask, but even if there are people, we tend to just whip this thing up and just suck up the awkwardness and just get it done as fast as we can.
This is my favorite part of it. You get to go fishing with it.
Maybe that's why it's not working well.
And now for my absolute favorite part of all of our gear. This is our Mavic Air drone. We went back and forth on getting one for a long time. We've wanted it for a long time, and we weren't sure whether we wanted to get it because, one, it's kind of expensive, and two, there's like tons of laws and regulations, and we didn't know if we'd be able to fly it in places like you can't do it in national parks, some state parks, all that kind of stuff. So it's hard to keep up, and we just didn't know if we would get our money's worth, but we for sure have, because we love this thing. It just adds another perspective to our vlogs. It can be a lot of work to have the drone, all the cameras, 2 lenses. It makes us, like when we're filming, it takes so much longer to do stuff when we're switching back and forth. But it just, like I said, it adds another perspective. It adds angles. You get the zoomed out shot from above. You can see the city that we're in, and then you see us talking in the city. It just tells an overall better story throughout the vlog.
So it's worth it for sure. We know that not everyone loves drones, especially if you're laying out at the beach trying to relax and there's like this buzzing right above your head. So we try to always be very considerate when we fly the drone. We typically fly at sunrise, so no one's really out. The lighting's great too. Or if it's middle of the day, we'll just try to make sure we're away from people when we're flying the drone, so that way we're not annoying anyone. We also follow all local rules, laws, regulations for the drone. We have this app called AirMap. It's so awesome. We highly recommend it if you have a drone. You can look at the map, see if it's safe to fly the drone there or not. Tells you kind of why, if you can, if you're too close to an airport or something. But one cool thing about the app is sometimes you're in kind of like an orange area where you have to get special approval to fly. And through the app, you can get approval within minutes. We've never had an issue getting approval. You just fill out a quick form. Sometimes there's special rules, like you can't fly a certain height or something like that. But then you can actually fly in an area that maybe you didn't think you could. The newest addition to our vlogging arsenal is the GoPro Hero 8 Black. And similar to the drone, we got this so we could film different perspectives. So Adam could be filming on the Sony, I could be filming on the GoPro, we could be showing the exact same moment in time, but with 2 different cameras and perspectives. So we just think it makes things a little bit more interesting, at least we hope so. But it's also really good for situations when we can't use the Sony. So if we're out in water or if we're on rides at Disney, highly recommend getting or renting a GoPro for Disney. It was so much fun to watch all of our reactions on all of the rides. It's obviously a lot smaller, easier to use, way less awkward to use in public than our Sony, but the sound quality and even the video quality is not as great as our Sony, so we kind of try to limit it to the situations where we have to use it. And we only really have one accessory for it. It's this floating hand grip. And the reason we got this is so when we were on rides at Disney, you can kind of like cinch this to your wrist, so there's no way you're gonna lose it even if you let go. And then the nice thing about this is it floats. So if we go snorkeling or do something out in water and we do drop it, it'll just float on back up to us.
A couple final boring yet necessary items are we have hard drives, SD cards, and batteries. So we have 4 small hard drives and 2 larger ones. A few of these, I'm not sure how many we have. And then we have 6 batteries. And when we're out filming all day long, sometimes we can go through all 6, especially if it's really hot or really cold. They burn through faster for whatever reason. Some days when we're filming sunrise to sunset, we'll go through more than one of these in the day, so it's good to have a backup. And then whenever we get back from vlogging, Kathryn always uploads our footage directly to a hard drive and then to a second hard drive for extra security. One time we lost all the footage on a hard drive, and it was gonna be really expensive to get it back, and it was just heartbreaking. It sucked.
It was the worst. So for the software for our vlogging process, we use a handful of different tools. The first is Premiere Pro, which is what we use to edit all of our videos. It's a very beefy tool, and we know like this much of it. There's so much to learn, and I've spent a lot of time trying to watch tutorials, but it's pretty complex stuff. So we know enough to get by right now, but we hope to learn more in the future. I'm currently the one who edits all of the vlogs that you guys see on our main YouTube channel. However, Adam has edited some of our patron-only vlogs. We've created a handful of those just for our Patreon subscribers. So if you want to go check those out, go check out our Patreon page. We've done a couple fun little videos for them on there, and it's been fun to see Adam do editing too. And then for all of our photos, we use Lightroom to edit, and then to make all of our thumbnails for YouTube, we use Adobe Illustrator. We have like the Adobe Creative Suite, so we have a bunch of different Adobe softwares we can use. And for the music for our vlogs, we're using a tool called MusicBed. But for the first year of vlogging, we actually used a different tool called Epidemic Sound. But then we found out about MusicBed, and like the vibe of the music just kind of fit us better, and we like the user interface better, so we decided to make the switch over. And if you guys want to try out MusicBed for yourself, we will have a link below to get you a free month to check it out.
We hope you guys enjoyed a glimpse at all the gear we use to make our vlogs happen.
So our goal with our vlogs is to make them fun and informative, but we're also working really hard to make the video quality better, from the shots we get, the music we use, to us just feeling like less awkward and more comfortable just talking on camera.
So we'll put a link to all the products we talked about in the description below, so you can check them out for yourself.
If you guys have any questions about the gear we use, just drop it in a comment below and we'll make sure to answer. Or if you guys have any suggestions of gear that we should start saving up our money for, let us know in the comments as well.
Very dewy this morning.
Here's a behind the scenes look. Our feet get soaked. These are like light gray, now they're dark gray. So sometimes we put ourselves in weird situations like getting our feet soaked just to get the best lighting or the best backdrop. So yeah, the true life of a vlogger. Some boats bumping some tunes.
The gear we use to make our vlogs happen.
I don't know why that was so funny.
That was so bad.